So pushing the new series along on full steam, here comes my second perfect playlist, and of course today, it's Mr. Eric Clapton.
Rain is falling through the mist of sorrow that surrounded me.
So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now I do apologise because I just realised that the settee is a bit of a mess. I really should have tidied that up before I hit record. But anyway, we're downstairs today because Buzz is upstairs making a bit of noise today, so I thought I'd have to come downstairs. But anyway, yes, we're doing my second perfect playlist today, and that is, of course, Mr. Eric Clapton. As requested. When I done the first one on the Beatles, a lot of people then requested Eric Clapton, so I'm here to please. I'm here to please you guys. Plus, I thought I'd better do a normal video, because my last video was a bit weird, a bit random. Yeah, my last video was a joke video. For those of you who enjoyed it, thank you so much. I really did enjoy making that video. Of course, as I said at the end of that video, I didn't mean to piss anyone off or anything. It was just me having a good time, trying to be funny. So yeah, anyway, get on with some serious videos now. We're back to normal. So yeah, Eric Clapton, what I've done is I've given Eric Clapton 30 songs. I gave the Beatles 20, because Eric Clapton has a much bigger catalogue. We're only going to do 30 songs for Eric Clapton, giving him a bit more. And of course, no band stuff, so that means no Dirk and the Dominoes Layla, that means no Cream. This is all just solo. So if you do not know any Eric Clapton songs and you want to get to know him, these are the songs I recommend you check out. These are my personal favourite Eric Clapton songs. And of course, if I miss out songs which you guys think I should have added, let me know in the comments below. But these are my top 30 Eric Clapton songs, ones which I'd recommend to people. Go check these ones out. So anyway, they are in somewhat chronological order of release. So the first song up which I would have is Let It Rain. Yeah, it's a really good song. It kind of is very reminiscent of what George Harrison was doing at the time, because him and George were very close at this point in time. And it's a really good first song from his first album. The next track up is Motherless Children from his very, very famous and probably most beloved album, 461 Ocean Boulevard. And it is just a classic 70s Clapton song. Clapton had a feel in the 70s, very slow, soft blues. And this one sums him up brilliantly. And then, of course, I put his cover of I Shot the Sheriff on here because it is, at the end of the day, a really fun song, which I think anyone can listen to. It's just a really good cover, and in my opinion, probably better than the original. It just has a nicer feel, I think. And then we move on to what is also potentially his most beloved album, Slow Hand, and I've got two songs from Slow Hand. It's very hard not to pick like half the album, to be honest. But just trying to rattle it down to 50, I did only end up picking two songs off this album. And that is, of course, Cocaine. Because it's just so good. The guitar riffs in it, the vocals, it's really solid. And plus, if you're going to do anything on Clapton, you have to do at least one J.J. Cale cover. Because Clapton was, the way I look at it, J.J. Cale was great, but Eric Clapton took J.J. Cale's songs and made them even better. And then we got a song called The Core, which he duets with a female singer on that one. It's a bit of a long song, but it's really, really good at the same time. And then moving on to the follow-up to Slow Hand, Backless. I've got two songs from that as well. I got Promises because I think it's a beautiful song. I absolutely love it. It's probably my top 5 Clapton songs, that one. It's great. And then Tulsa Time, which is a really fun, upbeat, rocking song, which Clapton does live quite a lot, and it sounds fantastic live. And then we got I Can't Stand It from the Another Ticket album, which is also a really good song. And then moving into his 80s sound. Now, with his 80s sound, it is a required taste. Clapton fell victim to the 80s in not the best way. You know, Phil Collins influenced him a lot, but there were still some very good songs that come out of the 80s for Clapton. One of which is Forever Man from the Behind the Sun album, which I absolutely adore. It is a very cheesy 80s song, but it is so much fun as well. And then I've also taken Behind the Mask from the August album, which is not one of his best albums, that's for sure, but Behind the Mask is a really good song. It is really fun. But then, of course, at the end of the 80s, in 1989, he had one of his best albums, Journeyman, which I'd recommend to anyone picking up anyway, because that album is fantastic. And again, it was hard not to pick like 4 or 5 songs off that album, but I've got 2. I've got Pretending, which opens up the album, which is fantastic, and on Joe Bonamossa's new live album next month, he's covering it live, which I can't wait to hear. And Bad Love, because I just love the lyrics to that one. It's so good. And then I got a couple. He done a soundtrack in 91, I believe. I think it was 91, called Rush, which only had 2 proper Clapton songs on, where all the rest were instrumentals. And I'm putting both of them on here because I love both songs so much. So the first one up is Help Me Up, which is a very simple song, but it's got some really good guitar riffs going on in it, and it's a really, really good song. And then we've got Tears for Fears, which always gets me, about the death of his son, unfortunately. It's a very, very tragic, very sad backstory to that song, but it is, at the end of the day, a really good song. It's a very emotional song, and it's one which I would miss. If, you know, that's the point of these lists. These are the 30 songs which I'd 100% keep from Clapton. I would miss this song. Then we move into my favourite period for Clapton. He had this period from the early 90s to pretty much 2000, where he was putting out some really, really good stuff. So first up we got the album From the Cradle, and I've only taken 1 song off that because they're all covers. I really like his original stuff more, but the song I've taken from it is Motherless Child, which is just Clapton on the guitar, just doing what he does best. It's a really, really good Clapton song, and that song really shows how talented Clapton is. That shows why Clapton is so beloved, because him just on a guitar, great. And then we move on to my personal favourite Clapton album, Pilgrim, and it was, again, hard not to put the entire album on here, really. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 songs from it. My Father's Eyes, which opens it. A beautiful song about his son again. Broken Hearted. It's such a well-structured and produced song. It just sounds amazing. Circus, again, another one about his son, which, again, really does get you going a bit. It's a beautiful song. The vocals on it are incredible. And then Fall Like Rain, because I just absolutely adore this song. It's so fun. Clapton's vocals are on point. And then he put out a compilation again in 99 called Chronicles, and it had two new original songs on, and both of them have made this as well. So Blue Eyes Blue is the first one, which is, again, it shows how good the production was on Clapton's songs in this period, and shows how on point his vocals were. And then I Get Lost for pretty much the exact same reasons. It's just an incredibly well done sounding song. And in fact, I think he got an award for a song called Change the World, which came out around this time as well, which was a single, which is also on that compilation Chronicles. So you can tell how on point he was at this bit. And then I put Riding with the King on here with B.B. King. It's a great song, it's a great cover. You can hear him and B.B. King playing off each other really well, because they both admired one another so much. And then from the album Reptile, I've picked 1 song, Superman Inside. Clapton rocking out, and it's so much fun. Another personal guilty pleasure album of mine, because I know this album isn't well loved, but I love it. Back Home, I picked 2 songs off it. So Tired. Bit cheesy, but I absolutely adore it. It's so much fun. Again, the production on it's great, and it's very catchy. And I've picked the title track, Back Home. Again, just Clapton doing a nice little number on the acoustic. Very laid back, very chill, but I love it. And then I picked 1 album off his album with JJ Cale, Road to Escondido, which I personally really like that album. I've only picked 1 song, and it's the opening track, Danger. And one thing you'll notice, I'm picking a lot of opening tracks from Clapton albums. He always opens his albums really well. That one's great. Then from his self-titled album, Clapton, from 2010, which I'm also a big fan of, I've picked Judgment Day, which I think is also a really good cover. Fantastic song. That whole album, that is the best American Songbook album I've ever heard. And if you haven't checked it out, you must do it. It's fantastic. And then his Old Sock album, which surprisingly not many people talk about, actually had a couple really, really good songs on, because I picked 2 songs off it. Gotta Get Over, which is a great rocker. It's got a lot of life to it. It flows really well. It's even on some of his best of compilations. It's just really, really good. And every little thing. It's a really, really just easy listening song, and I always have fun with this song. I've done a 12-inch single to it, and it's great. Highly recommend it. And then the last track I have up, which is off his last album from 2016, I Still Do. The track is Spiral. Spiral's great. It's got a really nice feel to it. It moves really well, and yeah, it's got a nice little guitar solo in there as well. It's Clapton kind of revisiting his slow hand period, of course, having the same producer on this one, Glyn Jones, sorry. You know, really good. But anyway, there we go. That wasn't a very long video, was it? I kind of breezed through them 30 songs. It's shorter than the Beatles one. They only had 20 songs. But yeah, Eric Clapton at the end of the day is easily in my top 3 solo artists ever. I think he's fantastic. And again, guys, if you are new to Clapton, I'd recommend checking out any one of them songs from any of those periods. Clapton has very different sound throughout each decade. And yeah, of course, some of the albums I name dropped as well. I'd highly recommend them as well. Especially Pilgrim. I'm always forcing Pilgrim on people because I absolutely adore that album. But yes, that is it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I will see you guys next time for another video.